Today we're going to be crocheting this really quick and easy hammock for our elf on the shelf. Don't forget to check the links in the description for my other crochet elf on the shelf accessories. And for this, I am working with some size 3 lightweight yarn, and this is by the Casey brand yarn. I've also worked with size 4 yarn and haven't noticed much of a difference. And you will need 2 crochet hooks for this. One is a size N or 10mm crochet hook, and the other is a size F or 3 3/4mm crochet hook. And keep in mind, you don't have to have these exact sizes to complete this. It might just alter the end result size a little bit. So we're going to start with that larger 10mm crochet hook, and we're going to begin by attaching the yarn to our crochet hook using a slip knot. So take your working yarn and drape it over your tail. Pinch that intersection and then pull your working yarn up through your loop like this. Then we're just going to tighten that down on our crochet hook. From here, I want you to keep your stitches loose. So what I mean by that is don't tighten down on your stitches after you place them, or tighten down on the yarn really tight while you're placing it. So you don't want there to be a lot of tension between your crochet hook and your working yarn, especially for projects like this where the gaps are very important. So we're going to begin by chaining 22. And once you have your 22 chains, then we're going to turn our work in the opposite direction. We're going to skip our first 2 chains, and in the back loop only, or the loop furthest away from you when you're looking at your stitch of this 3rd chain, we're going to place a double crochet. So 1 double crochet in the back loop only of our 3rd chain, and then we're going to place 1 double crochet in the back loop only of each stitch going down our row for a total of 20 double crochet stitches. And at the end of your row, your hammock should look something like this. So we are going to chain 2 and then turn our work in the opposite direction again. From here, we want to skip this chain 2 as a turning chain, and then we are going to place 1 double crochet up underneath the full last double crochet stitch from our previous row. And from here, we're just going to place 1 double crochet in each full stitch going down our row for a total of 20 double crochet stitches. And at the end of your row, your hammock should look something like this. So from here, we are just going to chain 2 and turn our work and repeat that last row over and over to build the length of our hammock. And we want to repeat this until we have a total of 15 of our gridded rows. And once you have your 15 total rows of double crochets, it should look something like this. And you can always adjust the number of rows to adjust the length here. From here, we're going to take our crochet hook out of our loop and add our smaller little crochet hook here. Then what we're going to do is chain 80. And once you have your 80 chains in place, then go back to your very first chain right here, and we're just going to place a slip stitch there. After you place your slip stitch, you're going to turn your work. So for this next row, we're going to be working in our hammock loops as well as over our chain stitches. So go ahead and sort of line them up like this so that there aren't any twists and turns. So what we're going to do is slide our crochet hook in our first double crochet here, and then we're just going to draw our chain rope over our crochet hook and work right over it like it is part of our stitch for a single crochet. And we're just going to repeat this process, placing 1 single crochet in each of our 20 stitches while working over our little chain loop here until we get to the end of our row. And when you get to the end of your row, it should look something like this. So we're going to cut and tie off our yarn. And don't worry about any tails or any weird little humps. We are going to be placing some tassel knots to cover all of this up and also to add a little cuteness to our hammock. So we want to repeat a similar process on this other side of our hammock here. So we're going to attach the yarn to our crochet hook using a slip knot. From here, we're just going to place a slip stitch in the top of our first double crochet, and then we're going to chain 80 again. And again, once you have your 80 chains, we just want to place a slip stitch in the top of our first chain stitch. And just like before, we want to line our chain loop up with our hammock end over here. And we're just going to place one single crochet in each stitch going down our row as well as over our little chain loop for a total of 20 single crochet stitches. And when you get to the other end, it should look something like this. So we are going to cut and tie off our yarn. So now it's time to attach our tassel knots. So if you have a nice thick book like this, then this is perfect, or you can just stack two thinner books together. And all you're going to do is just wrap your yarn around the book 8 times. I'm going around the width. You can also just use a thinner book and maybe go by the length. It's better that these are a little bit long than too short. And once you've wrapped this 8 times, you can cut your yarn. Make sure you're on the same side where your starting yarn piece is. Then you can pull your loop off of your book like this. And then on the same side where you have your ends, that's where you want to cut your yarn. And from here, I always attach my tassels right here next to where I joined my hammock. So in these two sort of loops right here, you want to insert your large crochet hook, and then you're going to grab the bend in your strands of yarn and pull that through like this. I pull it up until I can get my fingers inside. Before I actually tie the knot, I just make sure that I don't have any strands that are really short because those won't really be included in the tassel knot the same way. And then you're just going to grab your yarn ends and pull them through your loop like this. If you have any tails, include them with your yarn ends, just like that. And then from here, try to evenly pull your yarn ends so that they create a sort of even looking knot like that. And from here, you're just going to repeat this in all 4 of your corners. Make sure that whatever side you are inserting your crochet hook in is the same on all 4 corners so that your knot looks the same on all 4. And after you attach your tassel knots to all 4 corners, your hammock should look something like this. I recommend pairing this with my zip line and climbing harness to sort of complete the set. Don't forget to check the links in the description for those tutorials, as well as my other Elf on the Shelf crochet items. Thank you so much for taking the time to work with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.